Hi everyone, back again. Sorry about the shadow. It's kind of dark here where we're at, so I've just got lights on at the moment. I'm back here today with a tutorial on the All Boxed Up Mini. Finally, it's taken me like forever to get it done. But what I've done is pre-cut everything. I don't want to waste too much time dragging the video out and what have you. There are a lot of elements to it. Now, please bear in mind that when I do make my minis and come up with these little ones, I tend to have scraps left over from my other mini albums, so I compile them together and then come up with a mini that way. If you guys are cutting into fresh paper and what have you, and you haven't got enough scraps to make this mini, then you might have to adjust it so that you don't waste your cardstock. Also, another thing I would probably suggest, that keep any leftover cardstock that you have for the tags inside the actual mini album itself as well. So let's get started on this one. Sorry about the hold up. Okay, so what you're going to do, I'm going to flip through this album as I give you the measurements as well. Alright, so the first part of the album, which is the top bit, and I'm trying to do this so that, you know, it kind of makes it easier for me. Okay, so the top flip, you are going to cut at 11 by 5.5, score it at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 9 and 10 1/4. Okay, and then what you'll do is rotate it. Once you've cut it, rotate it, and that's where you will score on the 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 9 and 10 1/4. Okay, now for the inside pocket of the flip, which is this part here, and you will also need 2 large magnets, 2 guys as well. I use the basic grey ones you guys would have seen. Okay, so on this flip on the inside, the pocket, this pocket here, okay, this will measure 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and you score 1/2 inch on both sides. So this will be this bit here, and I'll just take these off. Sorry, I had to put everything together because there's so much loose paper. So you'll cut it and then you'll score it along these edges, okay, and then that'll fit down perfectly like that. Then what you're going to need is for the middle pocket, which is this bit here. Okay, I've cut that at 3 by 5 1/4, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch once again on either side here. So once you've cut it up, flip it, and it'll be on the 5 1/4 side that you will be scoring that 1/2 inch on either side. Okay, so that's all of this done. As we get through it, as we go through it, I will show you where to put the pieces and when to add the designer paper on. I'm not going to add the designer paper onto mine. I'm just going to leave it blank because once again it's going to save time. Now, oh, everything is everywhere. Okay, right, so what we're going to do is, okay, so the base page, which we're going to work on, is this bit here. Okay, so it's one big page. All right, this is it here. This will measure at 11 1/2 by 6 1/4, and you score it at 4 3/4 and 6. And then that'll give you this nice line up here. Okay, then on the inside, let me see. On the inside, which is this pocket here, you're going to cut at 5 3/4 by 3 1/2, and you're going to score 1/2 inch on either side, and that will create your pocket. Just bear in mind down the bottom you'll put glue, but let's not worry about that just yet. Okay, then the right hand side, which is this side here, I'll just move that over, which is your flip page here. Okay, what I've done is, I'll just move these over. There's your flip page. Okay, So the right side is 11 3/4 by 6 1/4, and you score it at 4 3/4, 9 3/4, and 11. Okay. Then as you flip her on the inside, you'll have a pocket. Okay. So I've made the pocket, which would be this one here. Okay. 7 1/4 by 2 1/2. And you score it at 1/2 inch on either side, and that would be on your 7 1/4 inch side. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do to start off with, let's put all these components together, which I've already given you the measurements for. Okay. And then we will work on the rest, because otherwise it's going to get too confusing. So I'm just going to pop these aside for a moment. Okay, like I said, I've got everything pre-cut, so all we need to do is tape it down. Now, what I'm going to be doing, I'll just take this off so then I can show you how it goes together. So on the front flip, okay, this one here, you're going to take the smaller side and put tape along there. Now what you're going to want to do is put your big magnet on here. Okay, so all I'm going to do is tape it on the inside so that it holds together, and I'm hoping you guys will get this all right. Any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment or email me. Okay, I'll just pop that on the floor so I haven't got my bin near me. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to the base page on the left side. You know what, okay, so just get it up as close as you can to that score line. Okay, right, so we've got that attached. Okay, then we're going to attach the right side. Okay, so once again, on the inside you are going to need to put your adhesive. Okay, and I don't like gripping my adhesive, but once again it saves time for the video. I should have got some snail. And then you are going to attach it to underneath, okay, once again up to that score line. So make sure your pocket and everything is all lined up, and just ensure that you are not going over those score lines, otherwise it's not going to fold properly. Okay, so we have got these pieces together. All right, the next part we're going to do is we're going to put this pocket together here. All right, now what I would do is with this one, you can put your designer paper on first, or you can put it on afterwards. I like to put it on afterwards because then I can use my scraps up on it as well, and I'm not using a lot of you know, wastage on my paper. Okay, and I hope this video turns out. I don't want to be having to take everything apart and put it back together again. Alright, so all I've done is put my tape on my hinges here. I'm going to fold it over. Make sure there's no tape on the edges, because then you don't want to, oh sorry guys, you don't want to have your album sticking to that piece there. Okay, so you're going to place that down, right down the very bottom, okay, and then tape it down. Now what you'll do as well, you would adhere wet glue under here, down the bottom, and then once that's stuck down, that will create your pocket. Okay, for video's sake I'm not going to do that because it'll take a bit for it to dry. If you use Scotch quick dry adhesive, you should be fine. Okay, so we've got the base of that done. Then what we're going to do is move over and we're going to put this pocket together. Okay, same concept, tape on either side, glue down on this side. All right, so I will just quickly do this and take that off. Then quickly do it like this. remember we are going to put it in here and make sure there's no bits sticking out. Okay, stick it along here, right up to the school line again, guys, not on the school line, because bear in mind, you've still got to put your glue down as well. Okay. And, oh, just move it over a little bit. Luckily, this isn't very strong tape, so I can lift it up. Okay, and then you're going to stick glue on this side. All right. Then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to put this down, which this is going to be your top flip pocket there. And I've got to move it down so you guys can see. And I do apologise if this is going to be on an angle. For some reason, my videos are always coming out on an angle. It's driving me nuts. Now, what you're going to do is lay your designer paper down. With this pocket, I didn't create it so that it comes right to the edges. So you will see on either side a bit of designer paper. Okay, so I'd put your designer paper down first before adhering this pocket. So I'm not going to put my paper down. I'm just going to stick it straight onto my cardstock here. And once again, you'll be taking more time with this to put it together so that it adheres. If you are going to put these pockets down, I suggest that you use red line tape, score tape, or ATG tape, really strong adhesive. You don't want it peeling up. I probably recommend score tape because that is fairly strong stuff, and I know different climates you need different glues and adhesives, but I found that the score tape works really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put it down there. Then once again, I'm going to add wet glue underneath here. Okay, then I'm going to grab my side pocket and I'm going to lay it on top so that you've got your pocket here. Okay, so once again, I'm going to add my adhesive here, and sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. The next door neighbour has decided to use his bandsaw, which is nothing new because I swear he knows when I'm filming every time. Scary to think, eh? Okay, so I'm just going to put these down and try not to, and this is where you wreck your nails. You really need to have a little pick next to you to peel that off with. Alright, so once again, I'm going to put it to the edge of the first pocket that I put on. Alright, and then I'm going to tape it down. Okay, so what you're going to do is add your wet glue along this side. So you've created a pocket here and a pocket up the top. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is this bit here. Alright, so I've opened it up. Alright. We are going to add this section here. All right. Now, for that bit, you are going to, this is the middle flip, 7 1/4 by 4 3/4, and you score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and that'll create your little valley there. Okay. So you'll have that much room there. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, like I can talk. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is actually put and tape this down, okay, right down to the bottom here. Now I'm gonna add it right to the very top of that score line there, okay, so that it's sitting right on there. You're going to have to fiddle around with it. I'm trying not to sort of lean over, but I need to be able to see it. So I don't want to go over that score line. I just want to be right up to it. Okay. Now, what you can do is, like I've done here, is add a belly band. It's up to you what you'd like to do as far as that is concerned. I haven't done that on this one. I haven't included any measurements. Once again, you can add a little pocket down here or you can leave it plain. Okay, so we're going to move over now And what you're going to do is we are going to add our pockets, which would be these pockets here. Okay. We will add both sides of them. All right. So what we'll do is I've made 2 hinges for the pockets, which you are going to need, and they are 2 1/4 by 5 1/2, and you score it at 3/4 inch and 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so once again it creates that valley there for you. All right, so you need 2 of these. For the pockets, to make the pockets, you will need 7 1/4 by 5. Sorry, I keep on moving it up. 7 1/4 by 5, and score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. Okay, right, so I've done that there, and what I've done is taken a little wedge out on the corners on either side, okay, and then folded it back. Once again, you will need 2 of these. The back of the pocket, right, to create the full pocket, like so, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. Now, generally they do measure up. Just be wary, like these measurements that I am making are using my tools, my scoreboard and my cutter. Also, like, bear in mind that different cutters cut just a fraction differently as well, okay? So just bear in mind with that as well. They're not all universal when they cut. So when I cut mine, if you have 2, let's just say you guys do your measurements with your cutters and I do measurements with my cutters, right? You've got exactly the same measurements, if this makes sense. You've got exactly the same measurements, but each using different tools, you'll find that they are not exactly the same if you put them up against each other, okay? Hope that made sense. All right, so you're going to create 2 of these. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move this album out the way, which we've just done, okay, and we are going to assemble these pockets. Now, what you can do is I like to put these hinges on the outside, so I'm going to assemble and adhere my pockets together all down. Once again, just make sure that you've got the right width of tape as well, because you don't want to have any overhanging here. Otherwise, when you put in your tags and your photo mats and what have you, they're going to stick, okay? So you don't want anything hanging over. So I'm just going to peel that off. All right. And once again, you know, need something to lift it off with. I wish I brought my tool over that I can lift that up with. It makes it a lot easier. Okay. Then I'll, nearly lifted off the whole lot. All right. Okay, so just tidy up the edges. My tape is a little bit wider than what I would like to use for this. All right, then I'm going to grab my backing piece and I'm going to line it up and then stick it down together. I wouldn't use wet glue, to be quite honest, because I know a lot of people do like using wet glue. I personally don't, because it bubbles up and it doesn't give it a nice finish. You get it all over the place. Now, see how I've got a bit of overhang here? I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Along here, you can just trim that off, okay? Because sometimes you will get overhang. Like, I know a lot of people, because I obviously haven't lined it up properly, a lot of people don't like using the, 1/8 and 3/16 inches and stuff like that. So I try to simplify it for you guys, and it might not always work out the way that I intended it. Okay, now you'll notice with these hinges as well, they're slightly smaller. That is fine. I did create it like that on purpose, just so that you can put your paper right over it and you won't see, you know, you won't see it anyway. So it doesn't need to, when you do make the hinges, it doesn't really need to go all the way from edge to edge. Okay, so I'm just going to put this hinge on and just make sure it's centered. If you have done it, if it is smaller on your papers when you are making hinges, mine, I've done this on purpose. Just center it as well. Oh. Okay. So I've put my hinge down. Now we'll be doing my other pocket as well, just so that you guys can see as well when we put it all together. And it does come together quite quickly once you've cut everything. Can you see? I've actually got wrapping paper on the table. The table was white and it kind of didn't really show up too well. So I thought I'd do it on red. Like I said, I hope this isn't too much on an angle. Okay. And then we will do this bit here as well. All right. Take your tape off. Now with these pockets, you can put your designer paper on after you've put your hinge on and before you attach it to the actual album itself. So it's your choice, or you can wait until the album is completed before you do this side of things. All right. So I'm just going to put that down. Like I said, I'm pretty rough with putting it down because this isn't very strong adhesive. Once again, I've gone over as well, so I can trim that little bit. It's not very strong adhesive, so I can peel it up and make, you know, my album, proper album afterwards. All right, so I'll just add a bit of adhesive on either side. Because there is like about an inch on either side, I would put more than one strip on there just to be safe, and you want it to hold. You don't want it lifting. Okay. I'm just going to add my hinge to this part as well. Just make sure it's centered. Oh, make sure you don't have any overhang on tape either. Okay, which I have got here, and I'm just going to tuck in there. All right. So wait till you've got your hinge on this side and then put your paper on. All right, now we're going to add this to our album. I'll just put another strip here. Okay, I'm going to take it off. So what you're going to do is open your album up and we're going to add it to the inside here. Okay. Now, make sure when you're doing this that you've got the openings facing inwards, all right? So once again, I'm going to center it, and I'm just going to make sure that my page doesn't go over the score line, which, just let me cut that little bit off, guys, because I'm going to have a bit of an overhang. So I've just grabbed some scissors. You really need to make sure these pockets are exact because you don't want to have any overhang on either side. Otherwise your album just won't close. Okay, so I'm just lining up my pocket. Alright, that looks about right. Okay, tape it down, and there is your pocket here. Okay, get rid of the excess tape. Then what you're going to do is do the same with the opposite side as well. And I'm just going to trim off a little bit as well on this side of the overhang because I don't want that to create a problem for me for my album. Okay. So once again, as close as you can to the score line, not on the score line, and just kind of move your pockets around just so that you get, right, that's perfect. Okay, so you've created your two pockets, right? Then what you can do, right, there is two ways of doing this. What I like to do is cut a piece of cardstock that covers this base here, okay? So you will essentially, I'll use this as a, you will have it essentially covered over so that it holds all the hinges down, right? Then put your designer paper on top. Because there are so many hinges, well, 3 hinges involved here, I wouldn't put my I wouldn't put my designer paper on top because you don't want it lifting. I would put cardstock. So just cut it out right up to each score line. Okay, you'd have to measure it from side to side. All right, so we've done that. The next part we're going to do, and I bet you anything I dropped it. As always, there is one part that is missing, and I did have it. Huh. All right. So I would probably... Let me see. I'd have those pockets folding over the top on this one, okay, because we've made this hinge a little bit smaller, but that's fine. All right, so you've got the pockets folding over there, you've got this big pocket here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the extra pockets, which are, and then I will find the, oh, there it is, it did fall down. So this would be these flip out bits here, and this one, and then this one, okay? So what we're going to do is the left pocket here, which is this one here. Let me see. Okay, so the left side flip, that'll go on top of this page, right? So that is 5 by 6 1/4, and then score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, so then I'm going to add my sticky strip or adhesive to it. Okay, I've got my hinge. Then I'm just going to stick it down to the very edge. Now you can do this before all the other bits and pieces that we've done. It's up to you. Okay, put it as close to the edge as you can. All right, then we're going to open it up. Okay, and we're going to stick the middle bit down. Okay, what you're going to do is you are going to cut this at 10 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I'll just move that down. Sorry if the video goes a bit blurry. Then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 6 3/4, and 10 1/4. Okay, so and what I've done on my one, see how it's a tiny bit smaller? I've just cut it down, okay? So that'll be your top pocket, your flip pocket, okay? What you're going to do is adhere your tape along that edge there, all right? So I'm going to do that now. And then we're going to add this down to the top here, all right? Now try and get it centered and moved up to the top, okay, as close as you can to the top. And you're going to tape this down as well, this bit here. I'm not going to do that for now because I haven't got my adhesive. And what this will do is create a pocket, okay? So essentially what you're going to do is you can put, adhere this side down, right? This little flat bit here, adhere it down, and then punch half a circle out here for your tag, okay? Just like in this one here I've got the tag coming out on this side, all right? So you'd be putting it in on this side, all right? But I would put it on the other side, all right? And then the back of it is just plain. So once we've done that, we're going to add this pocket here, all right? So I'll just move this out the way and move these scrap bits outside as well. So what I've done with this next page is cut it at 6 1/4, sorry, 7 by 6 1/4, and then score it in half and at 5 inches, and then fold on the 5 inch mark and fold it back on itself and fold the hinge the opposite way. And then you can use your Tim Holtz tiny attacher, or you can add a bit of wet glue on either side. Don't stick any adhesive on here, because what like your tape adhesive, what you'll find is that once you put your tags in there, it'll actually stick to the tag, and you really don't want that to happen. Okay, so what you're going to do is flip this bit up, and you're going to tape this down to the right side. Okay, and then I'm going to do that and put that together. Okay, this is running on 30 minutes already. Alright, so I'm just going to tape that as close as I can to that edge. Make sure there's no overhang, alright, and you're going to have that come over the top. But what I would do is have that folded on the inside, put the right side over the top, and then the left side. Okay, and the last piece of the puzzle for this book, as you lift this up, is your little pocket. Okay, which I have got, where are we? I've got this all over the place here. Okay, so when you flip that up, you've got this little pocket which you can stick cards in or little notes in. Alright, so I will just put all these back together again. There we go. I'll put that over there, that goes over there, and that folds up. Alright, so what I've done is I've cut this at 7.5 by 3.5, and I scored it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch on either side. So I went 1/2 inch, then at 1 inch on 3 sides, and I just cut out these corners, as you can see here. Okay, now what you're going to do is fold them over to create your pocket. And I fold in the sides and then fold the bottom bit over the top of those sides. Alright, so we'll add the tape on these 3 sides. And you'll need your bone folder just to burnish these down once they are stuck down. Now you're only going to need tape on the outer edges for this. Okay, you don't put them on both score line bits. So let's take this tape out off. Alright, and I'm really hoping that this video turns out and it doesn't go all blurry. Oh, okay. Right, so once again, put the sides in like that, and then put this back bit down. Then what I would recommend, you've got your cardstock on there, you've got your designer paper on there, then you add this over the top of it. Okay. And just fold them in, make sure they're sitting flush, and then burnish on the inside of that just to tape everything down. That will close up, or these will close up like this. That will close up, oh actually I'd close that down first, over the top. Then this will fold over, that would fold over, and then you've got these pieces here as well. And what you've done is you've put your magnet here, put another magnet, the B side or A side, and tape it down. Okay, and that's the all boxed up mini. Now, it wasn't that hard. Well, I hope you guys don't find it too hard. Okay, so you guys would have seen the mini. I've done the video on it, so I won't need to go through it again. But once again, please, if there's any questions, just bear in mind also that if you are going to stick a ton of things in here, this is not meant for embellishments on the inside. It's only meant for papers and journaling, photos and journaling. You can embellish the outside, but the inside is just strictly for photos and journaling. Okay, thanks again guys for watching, and stay tuned for my next project. Take care.